Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. We are here on a Friday night. We have a ton of great picks for you, and I mean a ton. I've got a bunch of soccers for you. Eric is going to bring some college basketball. And yes, folks, the rumors are true. He's undefeated on the season in college basketball. But before we
Yes.
get into all of it, Eric, do you know why tonight is a special night? Episode 100, my guy.
It was like
This
2
is
days after Valentine's Day.
episode 100. We made it.
We did this 100 times.
This
Holy
is
crap.
Yeah, man. So congrats.
Hey, you know what?
I stuck it out this
plan
far.
this, but I just added up our February total, and man, like, hey, if people would have been following us, they're up almost 30 units since August. Like, that's not terrible. That's not bad.
Not at all.
That is better than 50%, I do believe, if my math does me correct there.
Yeah, no, we're well up
by
in
that much, so we're doing great.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's been awesome. We're doing well. What can we say? And that's a good thing because we want to, yes, be entertaining and fun, and we want people to enjoy themselves. But we also want to make people money. I mean, that's the point. We also want to do some education stuff. We have that coming up in the works. We're going to create a nice little playbook for you to learn. I know a lot of people don't get into sports betting because, like, man, I don't understand it. It sounds cool, but I don't understand any of those numbers. So we're going to break that down for you guys, make it really easy to comprehend. Because if we can do it, trust me, you can do it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, there's a lot dumber people out there than you, and they're gambling on sports. So let's go. But before.
Yeah. Well, we're not like some sharp data head type people. Like, we do our research and we bet what we think is going to be good. And look, like, we've come out pretty well on top over the last 6 months. And I think most people can do that too if they put a little effort into their sports betting. That's it. So
yeah, that's right. And there are tips and techniques that you can learn to make sure that you're in the money no matter what. But we have way too many picks to be chit-chatting about making money. Can you give us your college basketball picks? I'm curious how long you'll remain undefeated. I feel like you're going to go 6-0.
Well, I got 4. So I got down to 4. There are a couple injuries that concerned me. I took a couple off. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, though. I'm really at this point in the season, I talked about this yesterday, just looking for some like obvious discrepancies, good teams playing bad teams, fading bad teams. I'm really not. Ooh, nice crack of the beer can. I should have grabbed a drink before this. Dilly. But anyway,
we're pausing so you can get your drink.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. So I'm just looking for these things. Like, again, I'm really diving into college basketball now, so I'm ready for March Madness. So here we go. Let's start. Everything's tomorrow, Saturday action, the 17th for these college basketball picks. Give me Duke -5.5 versus Florida State. Duke is competing for the top of the ACC. Florida State is kind of scrambling and really falling pretty quickly towards the bottom. So Florida State has lost 4 of their last 5. So I really like Duke to come in and take care of business against Florida State tomorrow. My next pick is, I have to admit I'm a little biased. I'm a CSU Rams hater, but I do like this pick.
Of course, there's going to be something anti-CSU, some anti-Ram. Let's go.
Little brother has to be reminded every once in a while. So Utah State, #1 team in the Mountain West, #1 by far. Colorado State started really well. People were talking about them as one of the really best like surprises and best teams in the country, but they've kind of faded a little on and off as the year's gone on. So this game is in Fort Collins tomorrow. But CSU's favored by 4.5. And I just like Utah State to either win or cover this 4.5. So I like it. Utah State's pretty good. I actually do pay attention probably more to Mountain West and Pac-12 basketball than anywhere else. I live in New Mexico, so I get to go to the Pit. I went and saw a University of New Mexico game the other night, and so get to pay attention to this region a little bit more. And I think Utah State is a legit team this year. Next, I said it yesterday, but I'm just going to go for it, which is Give me Illinois. They're my team. They're my bandwagon basketball team. I hop on. I have a lot of family from there. For those who don't know, I'm a Cubs fan. But that means I'm always looking for something to cheer for. So give me Illinois -2.5 versus Maryland tomorrow. This is a revenge spot for Illinois. Maryland took it to them earlier in the conference play, and Illinois has come on a lot since then. So I like a good revenge spot. Honestly, that's really most of why I'm making this bet. I don't have a lot of analytics for you on this one. I just like a solid revenge spot. So give me Illinois -2.5. Last but not least, let me actually, I think I might have missed. I think I did miss one. This is not going to be last but not least. We are going to add one more here after this. Oh, there it is. It made it. Okay. So let's start with Kentucky. Give me Kentucky +8.5 versus Auburn. This is just a big time SEC matchup, and Auburn is very good. But at this point in the year, like we're getting late in conference play, 8.5 points for a Kentucky team that's pretty damn talented and will probably be in this tournament right there with Auburn. You know, big SEC matchup. I just think +8. I think 8.5 is a big number. So give me Kentucky to cover that versus Auburn and keep that game a little closer. Last but not least, all right, Arizona can blow people out by 20 points. That is within a realm of that's in the realm of possibilities. That being said, this game's going to be in Tucson, but 18.5 point spread in your biggest rivalry game for the year. It was just such a big number. It was hard to ignore that Arizona State, you know, still have a winning record on the year. They're not that great. Bobby Hurley's probably on his way out. That being said, I just saw that 18.5 number in a rivalry game, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like that's a big number for Arizona to cover. So I just the sheer size of it is what's getting me here, and I'm going to go with Arizona State +18.5, purely based on the rivalry, like it being like the biggest rivalry.
You said purely based on the size. Size matters, folks.
Size does matter. Size does matter.
And when it's +18.5, you just got to take the dog right there. For sure.
So let's keep that. Let's keep this. Let's say I got 5. Let's keep this undefeated college basketball season going.
I like it. You ready for some soccer?
Are
you ready for some football?
Because you're literally like undefeated this week. Just this week, is that right?
Yeah, just this week. But again, we've had Europa League and we've had Champions League. And as you mentioned, that is where I tend to do a lot better because I think the lines, I think because there's so many more people betting on those, you can find some edges. But we're going back to the Premier League to start this show. And we are going to start with the Brighton. By the way, y'all, I am so sorry. Jen is not with us tonight. Therefore, none of these are in order of when they're being played. Some of them are on Saturday. Some of them are on Sunday. And I don't know which one's which. So we're going to start with Brighton on the money line against Sheffield United. Sheffield has given up 2 or more goals in 9 of their last 12 games. They are in 19th place, 18th place, something like that for a reason. They actually might be in 20th. Like they might be in last spot. They are the worst team or one of them. And so I fully expect them to give up these goals to Brighton. Brighton does give up some goals, but I don't think Sheffield United is going to be able to score more than one. Brighton certainly will be. Brighton started off the year really, really well. They came up against a few injuries, but now they're looking quite good again. So this one to me feels really safe. And at -120, it just was too good to pass up. You'll notice this is like the trend for this weekend is picking the favorite and to score more than 1 goal. So that's going to be what we're talking about a lot because most teams don't win 1-0. You know, most of the time it's a 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 type of game. And so we're going to bank on that. And so go ahead and jump over to your team, Liverpool, who are in first place in the league. They're going up against Brentford, who is a decent squad. They've got Ivan Toney back, who is scoring every game since coming back from injury. So this one, I do expect Liverpool to win. And because Brentford can push them on the counterattack, Liverpool's going to need to score more than 1, and they will. In fact, they have done this, let's see, in 10 of their last 15 games, Liverpool has been able to win and score at least 2 goals. And of course, in
That's a
some
great
of those
stat.
games, they're putting up 3, 4, 5. So this actually, Eric, this is my favorite play of the weekend.
While a handful of those games missing Mo Salah because of the AFCON Cup. So that's good.
Yeah, and they've been putting up points. They've been scoring goals outside of that Arsenal loss, which was a little bit the scoreline didn't flatter Liverpool. I thought it was closer to like a 3-2 type of game, not 3-1. But regardless, speaking of Arsenal, actually, let's stay with this theme a little longer. We're going to stay in England, but drop down to the Championship. We're going to go with Leicester City to win against Middlesbrough. Leicester's in first place of the Championship. They're going to promote if they can keep on pace. We're going to take them to win and, again, score more than 2 goals. This, to me, is just a value play here. You've got the best team in the league going against a team that's kind of been struggling as of late. Middlesbrough would be thrilled if they could even just get a draw here. But Leicester at home, I think they take care of business. Okay, now we're going to go to our final English game. This is going to be Burnley hosting Arsenal. Arsenal is fighting for championship and, yes, fighting for maybe even the title. They've got a lot of work to do. And against teams like Burnley, you can sure as hell expect that they're going to put in a good effort. Burnley's going to struggle to score here. So the fear here is that Arsenal wins 1-0 or 2-1. We're taking the -1.5. So this is not the same as to win and score over 1.5. This means we need Arsenal to win by 2 goals. 3-1, 4-2, 2-0. I think it's probably blanking Burnley because they're going to struggle against this tough defense. So Arsenal to get it done -1.5 is my final play in England. We're going to go over to Germany now, which is always a fun thing to do. Spend a little time this summer.
Germans.
Yes, but we are going to take Stuttgart. Stuttgart was incredible to start the year. They were in first place. They were battling with Leverkusen for that top spot. They then hit a bit of a dip right around the winter break, and they started losing a bunch of games that they shouldn't lose. Well, they've started scoring again. They've started playing really, really well, and I don't think the sports books have caught up quite yet. So we're going to take them to win and, again, score over 1.5 goals. They have won 3 in a row. Stuttgart, that is, scoring 3 goals, and 5 goals. They're going against the 18th team, which is the last team in the Bundesliga. So we got number 3 versus number 18. The juice is the only thing that's not great about this is that it's at -160. So maybe you want to parlay this. To me, I'm just going to bet it. And yeah, you bet $100, you're only winning 60, but that's still, a safe bet in my book.
I love it. I don't mind the juice at 160. I don't think
I don't like it much more than that.
No. We try to keep it right around that or below, but I still think it's worth making money on if you feel great about it.
The bad thing is that's not the worst one of the show. I've got one later that's even worse, but this one's not. Staying in the Bundesliga, we're going to take Dortmund on the double chance versus Wolfsburg. Dortmund is number 4 in the Bundesliga right now. They have not lost in their last 8 matches, so they have gone 8 undefeated essentially, and they are playing a Wolfsburg team that's just kind of mid. So I'm not too worried about that. Meanwhile, Wolfsburg, yeah, they have not won a game in their last 7. So you've got a team that hasn't lost in 8 going against a team that hasn't won in 7, and we just need them to tie. So that's great. Leverkusen, they are playing Heidenheim, who is a mid team, but Leverkusen's number 1. They just beat Bayern Munich last week 3-0. So this is a team that has won or drawn every single game this year. They are yet to lose, and we're going to take them on the money line. And we get that parlay at -128. Okay. Back to the theme of the show. Vallecano is hosting Real Madrid. Yes, that Real Madrid. And you can get them to win and score more than 1 goal at -105. I might have lied earlier when I said Liverpool was my favorite play. This might be my favorite play. Nice. Real Madrid, they win games, right? They don't struggle in that category. in second place right now, maybe first place. They played Girona last week, who was in first place, who we love. What a fun story. They beat them 4-0. So yeah,
sorry. Every time I'm sorry. We can move on.
No. But Vallecano, why you might say, well, what if Real Madrid only win 1-0? Well, they're giving up goals too. They've given up at least 2 goals in 4 of their last 5 matches. So I like that one quite a bit. My final pick, this is the one where the juice is not great, but to me, this is a for sure. We're going to take 2 teams to not lose. One of them is in La Liga in Real Betis. Real Betis play Alaves. Alaves is not a good team at all. I am not exaggerating when I say that. And Real Betis is actually doing quite good. Roma had a really tough spell for a while, which is why they sacked Jose Mourinho. Since they've gotten their new coach, Eric, they have only lost 1 of their last 5 games, and that was to Inter Milan, who's in first place and is just destroying everyone. So we just need the double chance. We're going to parlay that with Real Betis on the double chance. The juice is awful at minus 167, but you're going to win it no matter. Like, you're going to win this 99 times out of 100.
So are you calling that a stone cold lead pipe lock?
Stone cold lead pipe lock.
Lead pipe lock.
This week's.
You lock that in with your wrenches and steel and manly sounds.
Yeah. All right. If I was a Star Wars nerd, I'd say it was like the stuff that Han Solo got dipped in.
Oh, no, hold on. I got it. Carbonite. Boom.
There we go.
Did you say the fun dip?
Yeah. Like, you know, when the ice cream cones, you can dip in the chocolate.
That's what the kids eat the fun dip with the thing.
Yeah. It's
Han Solo got dipped in the fun dip.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, okay. That was my favorite.
That's why you come to this podcast here, folks. Hey, I forgot to mention it earlier, so I want to mention it now. Please do follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X, wherever you get your podcasts. Please do leave a rating and review. I know a lot more people listen than have hit that rate and review button. So please do that. It does actually help us quite a bit. Listen, you like us, you're our friends if you're listening to this, most likely. Hit the fucking button for us, all right? That's it. I'll ask you again every week. But before we go, Eric, how about we break it down? Let's give the listeners the rundown here. Let's bring it home. Give us your basketball picks. And then I'll close us out with some soccer for the weekend.
Let's do it. I got Duke minus 5.5 versus FSU. Utah State plus 4.5 versus Colorado State. Give me Illinois minus 2.5 versus Maryland. Kentucky plus 8.5 versus Auburn. And Arizona State plus 18.5 versus Arizona.
That Kentucky line feels way off to me. I'm definitely going to be joining you on there. Let's go to soccer. We're going to take Brighton on the money line and over 1.5 goals. We're going to take Arsenal to win by at least 2. We'll take Liverpool money line and over 1.5 goals versus Brentford. We're going to take Leicester on the money line and over 1.5 goals versus Middlesbrough in the championship. Heading over to Germany, we're going to take Stuttgart on the money line and over 1.5 goals. Next, we've got a same game parlay in the Bundesliga. We're going to take Dortmund on the double chance and Leverkusen on the money line. I'm actually probably just going to also play Dortmund on the money line and Leverkusen on the money line and get that at plus 140. Next, moving over to La Liga, we're going to take Real Madrid on the money line and over 1.5 goals. Next, we got Real Betis on the double chance, parlayed with Roma on the double chance to finish up the show. Hey, we did that in less than 20 minutes. That's more than a pick a minute. Not actually, don't do the math, but we're glad you're listening. We'll be back with you guys on Tuesday. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram because we will be adding more picks as we go. We'll be doing some live stuff. That's where you can make a lot more money than just sitting here betting beforehand. Eric, any final words before we get going?
That's it. That's it for me. I'm excited for this weekend. Let's go make some money, not on football.
That's right. Well, I'm making money on all my football. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back with you on Tuesday.